Hey, it's Friday. Welcome, everybody. Invite you to the 4K Skywatching Podcast. A sec, I got a bit of an echo here. Hopefully the audio's good. So, let's kick this off. This is the UFOlab. This is the first episode. We're going to go through this gear that I use. I have R4D5 with me here, an Evil BB-8. Take these earphones out. Michael, how's the sound? Sound good? Hey, Renee, how's it going? All right, this is going to be a different type of podcast than other podcasts that you might watch. Most people sit on their home and they do their podcast. They don't leave the house. A lot of people that you see have never seen a UFO. They don't know what a UFO is. They haven't analyzed UFOs. They just sit on their ass and then, comment. Very few people do field investigations. Very few people. There's a big thing going on now with drones all over the place. That's an episode and a story I'm going to get into at some point. I'm wondering, where the hell is MUFON? Where the hell are these podcasters that are, 20, 30, 100,000 subscribers pulling in 30, 40,000 a year, and they're not going out and doing shit? They're waiting for people from New Jersey and the UK and Manchester and all over the world to report to them so they can cash AdSense checks. This channel is proactive. I have a hell of a lot of gear, and I'm here to use it for me, and I'm here to use it for you. Before I get started, I just want to say something that we lost the Um, so, like I said, I got my special. And is The Last Jedi came out. And I said, fuck it, he's done. He was supposed to be completely radio controlled, but I said, that's good enough. And there's a lot of reasons he's not. Um, so let's get into. I'm only got an hour here. The shows are going to be Friday at 5 to 6. The time is going to move around um, as needed. I might do stuff on Saturdays, but it's not going to be just Friday. Friday is kind of going to be a wrap up with news, UFO stuff, videos, and whatnot. Throughout the week, as weather permits and it's great, there'll be podcasts that come. Or not podcasts, it's live watches with these cameras where I may not talk that much. I'm just going to take one of these cameras and I aim it on some study. These sky watches might last several hours if you go throughout the day. They might go throughout the night. And you know, Dave Holden's one of the few people that is, you know, if he can't go to the place, he'll do everything he can. He doesn't have his own podcast, but he has a huge reach. He knows everybody. He makes shit happen. So David Altman is the type of researcher that I would put on par with Chris O'Brien. So uh, can you guys hear now? How about that? I had one of them muted. I'm going to take it. It's working. It worked on the test. Still can't hear? All right. Dave says yes. I'm going to go with what he says. All right. Let's get a little bit into what's going on here. What I have is 3 NVIDIA. I did a massive update this year. I added another camera, and the cost kind of spiraled out of control. Can you hear? Okay, I'm going to take. I can't wear the headsets because it's echoing, and I'm not a professional podcaster. I'll figure all this shit out later. Did anybody count how many mics were in the beginning? There were a hell of a lot of them. So let's look a bit into the UFOlab here. This, like usual, I overcomplicate everything. All right, cool. Yeah, I was pretty nervous about the audio. I told people the video worked, the audio might be fucked up. So let's go and because no one can hear me. Can't time shit. Huh. Let me see what happens. Hey, man.
So when you share the screen, there's no audio.
All right.
So like when you put up all the cameras, we can't hear you.
Got it. You guys can hear me now, right?
Try to get
All right. Yeah, I haven't tried that. I did it. The whole point is he's fucking screening, right? All right. So, let's see. Let me give you a tour around here. Might work, might lose the yoke. I'll just keep the camera up while I'm looking at her. All right. So we have a. This is the side. I'm just going to cut me for. So I'm taking it. The audio doesn't work with that. Damn, Wes, thanks for that super track. So the audio is not working if I have the other cameras on it. Fuck, I didn't try that. All right, well, we'll get that fixed next time. So I'll use that sparingly. But I want to show you this thermal stuff. So let me prep that for a sec. You know, let me just tell you this. All right, so if you see in the opening, there were like 20 mice, and let me show you how brutal the sun is. Let me switch over here. Be a shit show. But that's all right. All right, can you hear any of the stuff? Yeah, there's. I'm getting electromagnetic interference. I'll call you that. I get electromagnetic interference on this one camera, and I think it's from the computer. Some of the other stuff I got running in here is I have AirSpy running. That's what Skinwalker Ranch uses to monitor the 1.65 gig. Now, I personally think it was made up for the show for, something. But there's people on the UFO Discord that say that the 1.6 gig goes off when the International Space Station goes over, because it's a space to ground deal. So it does work. The other thing I got is 2 of these cosmic watches. All right, so what these do is these measure muons. And Matteo Giovanni wrote some software for this, but for some reason it doesn't work anymore for me. It crashed on the 26th. It was working for an entire year. I think a Windows update killed it. I still have one of them and this one kind of broke because I think it fell on the floor too many times. The other one works, but doesn't work with the software, but I'm using MIT. MIT has free technology that kind of does the same thing. So that's on one of the screens over there. So the the bigger TVs here, I can set up 3 dome cameras. So I have the center camera, a left and a right. One of them I just got back from the manufacturer. What happened is we were shooting for a DVD over here, or not a DVD, a movie for Tubi or whatever, with Clyde Christopher. And a witness came over with orb video that he had. 2 flying humanoid videos and some orb videos for me to look at. And when he came here, one of the cosmic watches malfunctioned. And I'd never seen it malfunction like that before. And when he left, it went back to normal. So he affected the cosmic watch. That's weird. This Tubi special will come out in March. It'll come on Tubi, most of the streamers, probably not Netflix. So yeah, we do that. I do ground research and whatnot. If these people in New Jersey had this thing, a P900, they'd have really good footage, but it's about $500. And the bigger brother right here, the P1000, this is going to give you 125 X zoom. It's going to identify. Personally, I think the Jersey thing is going to turn out to be Chinese screwing with us again. They were the ones who had these spy balloons over us. Russia seems too broke and too stupid to pull this off. I have a hard time believing the U.S. military cannot take these things down. I mean, they can fly after. They shot down 3 UFOs a couple of years ago with Sidewinder missiles. Some of those were probably balloons. And I don't think the government wants to admit that they spent millions of dollars to shoot down hobby balloons. So that's probably why that's covered up. Let's see. I'm going to go check the chat, see if anybody got questions or if my audio tanked again. I'll have to watch the playback and see what went wrong here. Anyway, but yeah, thanks Wes Decker for that super chat. Definitely goes into this. Let me get back to the upgrade. So I had a 2K dome camera, and it works, but the focus it didn't work right, so it wasn't good for ufology. I looked and looked and looked for a successor for it. Couldn't really figure out what I wanted. What I wanted was a dual camera dome. So a dome that had a 45 power zoom and a second camera that's thermal. So we have a moving thermal. Now these thermal cameras, you got to be very, very careful, because if you aim these at the sun, it's going to screw up the whole sensor. The new color ones, I put right at the sun, doesn't mean jack. But thermal's iffy. So I replaced it with this that you probably saw in the opening. This is a 2K dome camera. It has a 45 power zoom. Much better than what I have. This I plan to hook up to the UFOlab. What I'm doing now is, before I had the UFOlab running, and it would record small clips, seconds long. The new plan here is to hook them up to UFOlab and then have an NVR also recording everything. So if the UFOlab gets small clips, the NVR has a backup of everything. So this would point me where to go and where to look. So I get this camera, right? So if you want to know, this thing was like $900 off eBay from China. And then you wonder, okay, this better work, right? What's the warranty? So I get it. I plug it in. it don't work. I'm like, what the hell? So I need a new NVR because these other two are full with cameras, right? So now this rabbit hole, ta-da, get a new NVR. Now, if you ever buy an NVR, don't get 16 port or 32 port, whatever. You'll never get, it'll be wiring hell. They cannot take the capacity because with 8 of them, there's so much 4K bandwidth going in, it chokes, right? So if you need 16, you just get 2 8s. So I buy this, and this is, I don't know, $300-400 or something. And then, abracadabra, it still don't work, right? Fuck. I gotta go get a Western, a new hard drive because they only come with 2 terabyte. And 2 terabyte only holds a week. So I put this in with the 2 terabyte, I get a month. So we're set. I'm thinking, okay, it's got to power up, it's got to work. Otherwise, it won't. So what happens is I'm trying to power it, and what you have is you have these devices called Power over Ethernet or PoE, and what they do is they send electricity through a couple of the 8 RJ45 jacks and data. Now I plugged this in, it still don't work. I'm like, what the hell? So I did some research, and it turns out you need what's called a power adapter. I had no idea what these are. So you get like 15 or 30 watts through PoE, and this camera needs 36. Great. So I buy the cheapest shit I can buy on Amazon. It was $40, didn't work. I'm like, God damn it. And this one, I think it was $125. Everything I buy is $125. So then I go buy this, which is a PoE Power 95 watt, a brand name, and it works. It came alive. Woo. So that dome came alive. So I had a learning lesson on that. I mean, 95 watts is a lot. A computer runs off 400. So imagine running a computer off a RJ45 cable. I had about just over 1.25 miles of these cables going in the roof and throughout the house. So by the time I got that camera up and running, that was probably about $2,000. Then thermal cameras, right? So 3 thermal cameras. I had them for months, all looking in the same spot. So I had white hot, black, hot black, and I had some strange funky color, all looking at the same spot. So if they see a UFO, I'd have overlap because sometimes they show up. What I find is they show up better in hot white than black hot. I don't know why, but they do. So I decided to do Panavision type shit. So we'll have one in the center, one this way, one that way. And when they look around, I could see it going like this. So as I was putting them on the roof, something happened. Something flew directly towards the camera like this and went over. I posted it on Twitter if you want to look. Yes, I lost my fucking mind. I'm on Twitter. And TikTok, but I don't use them too much, but, what the hell. So anyway, it was in thermal, it was white hot, and it flew directly at the camera, but unfortunately, I wasn't set up, and the video skips, so I don't get 30 frames a second. And the reason for that is when that router blew up, I bought a 16 port. That's how I was saying, don't overdo it. Plugged everything in, and it choked the data. So I'm trying to have like multiple 4K cameras, but it's going through one RJ45, one wire, and I'm finding out that was just too much for the pipe to handle. All the cameras were skipping. When I was moving a dome camera around, it would jerk. So if a UFO goes by, you need that moving on. You need to have everything on the fly and clear. You can't have no skipping or it's going to lose you. So later I found out just plug the thermals into the NVR and keep one dome over the IP. That way I can control it. So I'm kind of messing around with different systems. I'm not set on anything. Everything's experimental until I find a sweet spot. So everything's said and done. I was a $4,000 upgrade this year. So I was, damn, I saw that credit card bill and just paying back for it, because usually it's only $1,200 a month, but this was heavy duty. But I'm glad it's up. So the deal is I'm taking those 3-prong like this, and I have that 45 X camera looking. So the scientific experiment here is to see if the objects show up on thermal, but do they show up on color? So I'm finding kind of a mix and match. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Everybody in the UFO community has heard that you can see them in thermal, but you can't see them in color sometimes. They cloak. What I think, my hypothesis is they do both. They cloak from the RGB that we see, and they cloak also in thermal. I don't know how they can get away with it, but look no further than the jellyfish video that Jeremy Corbell released of this object going over a military base. Now, very interesting video. I should do a breakdown of that someday. When they're filming it, the object is black. And at one point, it starts turning transparent into white. So what's going on there is the thing is changing its temperature. And when it's changing its temperature, the camera adapts accordingly and goes from black to white. If I remember right, they're filming in hot black. Now, when it goes, keep in mind, if it's filming in hot black and you see something white, it doesn't mean it's cold. It just means there's a color differential or heat differential there. So this object actually was changing its temperature. So imagine you changing your temperature. Say you walk outside in the snow, and your body temperature is 97 degrees, and all of a sudden you change your temperature down to 32. That would be kind of what this thing did. So that balloons, those were not balloons. That wasn't spit on the camera. It's kind of insulting stuff they kind of throw at you. Nobody looks at the details. Nobody goes into the nitty gritty or the science. And that's what I like to do, is get into the weeds on this stuff. So my audio might cut. I'll have to do some solutions later on this, but I do want to get back to a bit of thermal sensor. Oh, another thing I use, another sensor I use is this. This is a radio. It's a nuclear detector. And also, when that guy Chris came over to my house, and he broke the cosmic watch. I was scanning him with this. What the hell are you, man? You human? You're breaking my shit. Oh, also, not only did the cosmic watch go down, but my dome camera broke. So when him and the team came over here, my camera freaked out and had a malfunction. And when I looked at it, all of a sudden the trees were green. Everything was green. And I couldn't really figure out what was going on. And I'm like, did this slip into infrared? Because this is what it looks like when you change a camera into infrared. And I couldn't quite get it. And never had a problem with that camera. And then he comes over and it switches in the infrared. And then a friend of mine, Jeff, goes, dude, the green's out. The green burnt out of the camera. How the hell does that happen? So cosmic watch broke. Dome camera broke. So stuff breaking is like, it's real. It malfunctions like this happen. There's a trickster element to this. So like you see on Skinwalker Ranch where people come out with brand new equipment and it malfunctions. I feel that stuff happens. That does happen. Hey, reality checks here. I think be coming over to your house pretty soon. So anyway, so what this nuke thing does is, let me show you something real quick. Probably losing audio. It's here in a second. Or put it up on the side stage here. So this is a map of this nuclear. I say nuclear like George Bush, but this is a map of it, and this shows you where we're at. So somebody is hot in Tucson. What the hell? See, when it says red, it means run like hell. Get the fuck out of there. That's what. Look it up. I ain't shitting you. So you can look up the data history here, and see, this will show you everything on the Geiger counter. So back to the map. Show you how this works. So here we are in Phoenix. And I am number 15 here. So, let's see. Here's a bit of OBS. All right. Yeah, there I am. I'm number 15. So this uploads all the time. So this guy represents me. So I'm same thing at the same service, and it has the history there. So if a sighting happens, all the new kits are backed up on this website, and it's interesting because you can look around and you can find out where other people have these same detectors that are uploading to the internet. Some of them are kind of frightening. There's a place over in the East LA that's almost nonstop hot, and it's in the middle of a lot of houses. I think that's where they might build something with radiation. Me and Jeff were looking at a place where there was a school and it had a hot zone over on the East Coast, and that's a run like hell situation. And it's interesting. So if you have one of these, they're not very expensive, but you go out and find others. The hot zones are usually hidden. You can share your data or you can hide it. So the hot zones are hiding it for some reason, but it's kind of frightening. One of these was next to a school. The idea is when more UFOs are captured on the system, is you check these data, you check this. I've never seen any radiation jumps so far. And it's nice that you can go, back because it's constantly uploading. And the Cosmic Watch. The Cosmic Watch could be a thing. There's not that many Skywatchers using them, so we need a lot of Skywatchers using them to see if it's a UFO detector or if it's a coincidence that the objects show up when there's a sighting. See, I wouldn't get wrapped up in that stuff drone-wise. But stay on the ground, use your cameras, use thermal. Let me give you a. So yeah, thermal would be the way to go after these drones. George Knapp was saying that these. This mic kind of sucks. I got so much shit. Something's always broken here. Should use that mic. That was better. But what was it saying here? That's what's going on up there. George was saying they make stuff that looks like ours. We make stuff that look like theirs. I don't know what's going on. Some of the stuff, the imagery I've seen of what they say are drones would look like Airbuses with lights in the wrong spots sometimes. But most of the stuff has, red over here, green over here, and a white light. Some of them have red lights on the belly. Some of them light up. So I don't know whether they're doing that. But you have to, just consider that something that big needs an airport to land at, right? So a fixed-wing aircraft that's, 100 feet or so, it's not landing in somebody's backyard. These, I don't believe that the FBI can't track these. I don't believe the NSA or CIA. Something dirty's going on. And what's weird is, you see, they really don't protect us. I said this on March 13th. It's like, that could have been anybody that flew on March 13th. That could have been Russian stealth bombers. And they launched the aircraft, they intercepted, they looked at it, they got scared, and they landed. So they, I don't know if those F-15s were armed on March 13th, but they didn't do anything. A few years later, 9/11 happens. Hijackers were in the air for hours. Shit wasn't done that should have been done. And you're thinking, okay, we'll get it next time. Now, here we are, weeks in. There's drones just pushing it, man. If this was us doing this, you'd be in handcuffs probably an hour after your drone landed. I'm thinking this is something with probably China. And then we have you have foreign policy stuff now. And, this administration not going is going to do anything about it. I don't know if the next guy's going to do anything about it. But if we did this, we'd all be arrested. So I'm thinking these are, probably Chinese nationals or Chinese spies or something's going on. And, to go arrest all of them is, an embarrassment. They could be UFOs too, because this has a lot of hallmarks of stuff I've seen before. Now, back in 2000, 99, we had a case with a UFO called Bubba. This was a red UFO. There's similarities with what's going on in Jersey. This thing showed up as soon as the sun went down. So in the summer months, when the sun went down around 8, 9, that's when it would show up. And then when it got into our winter hours, then it would show up. It would adjust accordingly. Oh, now, ask yourself this. What the hell drone or UFO, let's say UFO, what kind of UFO works on this daylight savings time? I only a damn one. They show up in the daytime, nighttime. They don't give a shit. So how would aliens or whatever even know what daylight savings time is? That's something that means something to Americans. I don't think Europeans, you got to have that stuff. I mean, Arizona doesn't have it. We don't deal with daylight savings time. Maybe that's why they don't show up here. But the fixed wing aircraft that are so big, those got to land somewhere. Those can't, they don't have vertical takeoff. So that tells me that there could be some hysteria here, misidentification. Imagine that these were really UFOs coming in. Look at how people are freaking out already. Right? We have a nationwide, almost media blackout. It's almost barely talked about. Yeah, just don't worry about it. Same thing happened with Bubba. Because, Taylor Swift, where she moves, more important than national security. So this is where this is keep going on. So citizen researchers can do a lot more about it and have than our federal government. So it just shows you, again, we're not protected. I mean, these things could be dropping gasoline bombs. If you watch the Ukraine stuff, they're dropping grenades on top of people. We're paying all this money. How the hell are they keeping us safe? I mean, if we wanted to, like Dave Alden just posted a video, Twitter of old guy in Florida who shot a drone down. Now, that guy's he's in serious shit. If you down a drone, they consider that an aircraft, even though it's small. So that's an aircraft. So you're probably facing felony. His gun's probably going to get taken away. He's going to pay some fines and maybe spend a few days in jail. But yeah, that's the thing. If the government isn't going to protect us, you got to protect yourself. I'm pretty sure that the citizenry could blow these goddamn things out of the sky. I don't think anybody should. But if you're going to don't use bullets I mean, I don't know if it's against the law to shoot something down with a laser, high powered, laser might take one down, but don't be using no bullets on them. Guys, because it's hot in here. All these monitors are hundreds of degrees, and they add up. And then some of the stuff's like 120. Like it's goddamn hot in here. Let me check. I think this mic's 404. Let's see if there's any questions. If anybody has something to ask. Canada. Are these things in Canada? That's a good one. Are the drone invasion, did they hit Canada? So far, it seems like a U.S. and U.K. thing. So maybe it's again, it could be a Five Eyes country deal. And why would, aliens mess with the Five Eyes? So if this is China and they're messing with the UK and they're messing with America, yeah, it kind of sucks that we're not doing anything about it. We got Gatling guns that'll shoot them down on boats. They never shot them down on the Navy. This is an ongoing deal. Remember the Colorado drone activity? Same deal. Nobody got them. Nobody did shit. So that tells me that group is this new group too. They're doing it again. And then we had that case in Tucson where one of these drones flew over Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. It was chased by a police helicopter, circled the police helicopter. There's video online, you can hear of it, but they never released any visuals of it. And the police helicopter ran out of gas, had to go back and land. And the last time they saw it, it went over a mountain at 13,000 feet that they have down there in Tucson. What kind of drone do you know that can go up 13,000 feet? These ain't DJIs if they're drones. They're possibly gas-powered. They're probably big. I don't know. Nobody's seen anything like it. The stuff that we see are usually like Predators, U.S. military, UAS stuff that kills people. We usually don't. I haven't seen a 10-foot drone or a 20-foot drone or any of that stuff. It's hard to tell what's going on. I'm not a Twitter expert, but it looks like there's some decent information on there, but it's also a fire hose of fakes, AIs, disinformation, what they call is flooding the zone with shit. So you really can't differentiate what's going on unless you source it, investigate, and look into it. I wouldn't count on Reddit. Reddit's the absolute hands down worst place for information other than above top secret. This episode is, I'm having weird NVR problems. NVR works for a while and then it farts out. So that is going to be problematic when I go to do a 4-hour Skywatch because I need this reliably, so it's only worked in for sections. So I'll have to get this down with OBS and whatnot. I hope you guys seen that George Knapp special that came out, Investigation Alien. I've been waiting quite a while for that. That was all credit due to Dave Altman. Dave Altman helped put that together. You didn't see him in the episode, but you felt him probably because he works behind the scenes all the time. I don't know why IBM doesn't read like the Star Wars credits, but they probably should. He's working on more stuff. Hopefully we can get some UFO investigators to actually leave their house and go out and investigate what's going on either in the East Coast. There's no reports of that in the Phoenix or Arizona area that I've heard. The military base that we do have is 30 miles or so away. So I can't see any activity that would be going over there unless they're going to travel over here. It would be great if they did come over by my house because I'd have a pretty good shot of IDing them. Let me try the camera. This stuff farts out pretty easy. So yeah, take a look around. Let's see, the audio might go to shit. Yeah, sorry for the audio fuck up. So I'll get that fixed. I think. I'm gonna go over and do just a little bit on the thermals once I get these things back up. It's strange. Maybe I need to get off this Alienware and switch on a different Alienware. All right, here we go. All right, now let's switch to these dome cameras a bit. Okay, so we're looking at 2K dome camera. That's looking there. 9. Yeah, I got so many mouses I had to color. I had muscle memory on recording UFOs, not on the system yet. All right, so down broke. Switch that over to. This box here, this weird box is buggy. It's got a problem going down. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it don't. Oh, how many times I've crawled on the roof for this? No, yeah, the audio cuts out as soon as I condensation. Truth Seeker is asking, how do I keep condensation out of them? Good question. Let's see. The fixed cameras, they don't have a problem. The ones that don't have zooms. The domes did have a problem, but one of them I have is, I think, IP9, which means it's waterproof. Up to a couple of feet. So that's rainproof. Now, this 2K dome that I just bought, I bought a bucket and I cut it and I glued it around the rim because there's going to be water going in that when we get a monsoon. And I looked and there's electronics on the bottom. So if you ever seen that movie Nope, when it comes time for a rain, they run up on the roof and they put plastic bags and shit all over those cameras. And I went, holy shit, I do that. How did the writer of Nope know that skywatchers put grocery bags over their cameras in the rain? Only a skywatcher who had a camera broke from the rain knows that stuff. A writer wouldn't know that. I was really, really kind of taken aback on that. Some of the dome cameras have heaters in them, but obviously you don't need a heater here. But yeah, that's not too much of a problem. Bigger problem is bird shit and scratches. Some of the domes they will go on. These birds will sit on and scratch it. Now, I think you've seen the owl. Chris O'Brien had an owl next to his camera. I have an owl too. Everybody has an owl. It's to scare away, birds, but it doesn't do a permanent job. But at least it helps. Let's see. Let me get the stupid ticker shit off. Where did I put that on for in the beginning? All right, so I can tell you one thing. Next week, over here, the next episode on Friday at 5 is going to be Behind the Scenes of Investigation Alien. This came out on Netflix on November 10th. It was top 4 TV watched for a while. I've been waiting a while for this, so I really couldn't say nothing. People were asking me why I had footage and I hadn't posted it yet because I gave it to George for him to use. Because the idea is if he plays it, millions of people see it. If I put it on my channel, millions of people won't see it. So that was why I held off on some footage with that. So yeah, next episode, Clyde Christopher is going to be here in the studio. So got to get probably not going to play. We're going to play some videos. We'll keep the 4K stuff down. The audio should work. So me and him were both on the show. He was instrumental finding locations for us to shoot with Netflix. So we'll get into that. We'll have some behind-the-scenes footage on that. We have some stories about what we think about the show we run, the other episodes that we saw. And Clyde is a very prolific filmmaker. He's put out, yesterday he told me he puts out about a movie a month. So a UFO movie a month. So since George did that, he put out about 6 films, I think, including that Orb movie. So let's wrap up with that. Any questions does anybody have before we wrap up? Only a nerd has a camera in his camera. Well, you see, let's come back. You gonna be back here? Anybody else still working? Nope. Fucked up again. Yeah, I had some cameras watching some of the cameras because the thermal cameras, I got to be careful. If I point them in the sun, they're done. So I put limit switches on them so they can't go too far, and so they can't also flip over and hit the dome camera. But yeah, dome cameras on the cameras. Any sensors that you guys think I should get? Got a couple cosmic watches, the nuclear, Geiger counter. I don't know what else really we should use sensors with these things. Dave Mason, he has this very long tube. It was in the tear in the sky. I asked him, what's that for? And he says, I think to read RF signals from drones. So that would be interesting that we deploy Dave Mason to these, which we couldn't do, but if we could, deploy him to a hotspot, have him pointing at that, and that would at least tell us that the drone, is radio controlled from the ground. If it's not, then it's somebody else's technology. As far as imitators, they do imitate stuff. Bruce Cornett in the Hudson Valley area filmed what he called a black manta, and it was a fixed aircraft. It flew over him, and when it did, it shot down searchlights that were directional on the wings. Now, planes have forward-looking landing lights so they can see the tarmac when they land. They don't have aiming lights on the wings. What the hell was that? He also said the audio was synthetic audio of a Doppler effect with the sound. And I'm hearing that with the New Jersey stuff. I guarantee these people don't know anything about Bruce Cornett or his research. So that's one. And another time I found a UFO mimicking is I was think this video is on my channel somewhere. I was filming something, and I thought there's some clouds. Now that's a balloon next to the clouds. Or is that a grocery bag? What is this? So I took my sweet time, kind of moving around the camera. This was a 2K camera, 12x. I zoomed in on it, and then I started just dialing that thing in, getting it in focus. And it was drifting with the clouds for 15 minutes. And then when I zoomed in on it, it seemed to go, shit, we got detected. And it looked like a white disc. And then it changed direction, went against the wind, and took off, and the focus started going in and out, and I lost it. So that thing was mimicking debris. It was mimicking sky trash. But when I said, hey, you flew over the nerd's house, you screwed it up. I'm going to find out what you are. And he said, screw it. Why do we even fly next to King's house anyway? Let's get out of here. So they do mimic stuff. So that's my incidental, but I have video of it. So they do that. Sorry, the audio screwed up. I expected a shit show of audio, and I delivered. So this has met expectations for that. I'm going to wrap up here in a second. See if anybody. Maybe I need more screens. So yeah, the reality check sent me some video. I'm gonna probably meet up with him and check out a portal video, possible sighting. And I'm gonna be straight up. I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna tell you if I think it's real, if I think it's shit. And I don't lie to people. I give you my best guess at what I think it is, depending on the evidence that you collected and the witness and so on. But there might be a camera crew following me around. There's going to be one here next week. They're shooting something. Can't talk about it yet, but next week we're planning a Skywatch Saturday night. If you're in the Phoenix area, you get a hold of me. Give you 411 on how to hook up. Bring your gear. Bring whatever. We don't want tire kickers. But then again, tire kickers aren't watching this podcast. These are serious UFOs, skywatching nerds. So we're going to do some field research. This is the winter time in Arizona. By winter, I mean 80 degrees. So it's a great time to go out. We don't do sky watches with people in the summer because we just don't want to drag people out in 110 degree. And, it's just freaking miserable. So that's 6 o'clock. Next time, we're going to go an hour, maybe 2 hours with Clyde Christopher here. We're going to talk mostly about investigation. Investigation Alien, or was it Alien Investigation? I'll tell you what the real title was next week at 5. So thanks for watching 4K Skywatching Podcast. I'll watch the replay, find out where I went wrong, fix it next time. I appreciate every one of you who watched. Thank you again, Wes Decker. You're a great guy. Thank you so much for supporting this. This is my only vice, is spending money on this. I appreciate all you guys. If you like the show, leave some comments. If you didn't like it, leave some comments what you didn't like. Share this with your friends. Put on your social media. I don't give a shit. We'll see you next time on 4K Skywatching Podcast.